This week on Group Chat Over Brunch, we're breaking the silence on a pain too many of us carry in our wounds and in this system, because heavy is the wound. And it's time the world heard what that really means.
Welcome back, brunchers. We're coming to you from the beautiful Cordelia restaurant in downtown Cleveland on East 4th. Immediately shout out to Tony. Yes. Y'all see this spread? We had a meal today. I know you cannot see us if you are listening by audio, but that just means you need to come out and get some of this French toast, this burger in a box.
These JoJo's.
Okay.
The JoJo.
I had what's the golden Dutch baby?
The golden Dutch baby.
Oh my
like
gosh,
the
French toast sticks. Oh my goodness, delicious.
Amazing. The food feels like a love letter to this city. Like really, like the ambiance, the vibe. Yes. Y'all, if you have to be here, you just have to come. Everything is crafted with intention. They make a lot of stuff in-house, locally sourced, artificially plated, and full of heart. We just love this place. Cozy, creative, and full of warmth. The kind of place that reminds you that nourishment isn't just what's on your plate, it's also what's in your conversations. That's why we here, y'all. Yes. That's why we here. Yes. So we're gonna open this table up like we do all the time. Cheers. We're gonna open this brunch table, and here's to our brunch hers. This table is yours. Cheers. All right. We want to give just a quick content warning. We are talking about some serious stuff with our female bodies, especially us women over 40. It's about women's health, pain, reproductive challenges, all the things. And we want you to take care of yourself while you listen to this, because you may be a little triggered by some of the conversation. But again, we don't fake no things. So we are giving it to you ever, and especially Brie, y'all. She gonna pause if you need to. That's why you can play this thing back. Take some time, step away if you need, but we are always going to give you the real. We're going to start off, as we always do, with a stat. Black women are up to 3 times more likely to develop fibroids than white women. And not just more likely, our fibroids tend to be larger, more numerous, and more symptomatic. But the research on why that is still painfully, as many of us know, limited. Shocker. And this is a shocker. There are many reasons behind that, though, but we can get into it. But the system doesn't study our bodies enough, yet it blames us when they break. And this system, they're not studying our bodies. A lot of that is because of us, too. But there's a lot of history in that Tuskegee experiment, but we won't get into that right now. But for those of us that have experienced fibroids, and I know Bree will have a lot of questions too, so we'll definitely just ask us, Bree. But I know I have experienced fibroids, and I believe that 4 of the 5 of us have. When did you first realize that something just wasn't right with your body, and how long did it take before someone took your pain seriously? Or maybe that wasn't even an issue, but when did you first realize that there was something just not quite right?
For me, I'd say it was in my early 30s. My sister-in-law was actually in her residency to become an OBGYN.
Helpful.
And very helpful. And, we just had a conversation one day, and she was like, no, you shouldn't really be in pain every day. And I had to sit back and think, like, when I'm on set, I have to take a seat for a moment. I was just having some lower abdominal pain. I was like, oh, maybe I did a little too much. I'm going to pop on a leave, and I'll be all right. But she definitely, poured into me and said, maybe you should see your doctor and say, this is the pain that I've been dealing with. What is this?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My story is a little bit, I guess, long-winded, but I'll try to wrap it up as much as possible. I grew up hearing my mother complain about her cycle. She would call her monthly. My monthly is coming, and my grandmother would say, mine was only 2-3 days, and my mother would kind of roll her eyes. But when I was probably late 20s, I was working in a corporate environment, and I remember standing up in a training, and all that stuff, comes down. It was somebody had to walk behind me, but it wasn't until after I had my daughter, because it seems like, I think we were talking earlier about when you make a person, sometimes your body changes, it goes through changes, but It wasn't until maybe she was about 3 or 4 I started to see that the heavy periods were coming back, right? And having to move from just those heavy pads, and I know our sound guy loves this conversation, moving from these heavy pads into almost like wearing, I call them mommy diapers, and I should have come on over here to show y'all what they look like. And my sister, who also experienced pretty much a traumatic event involving her reproductive organs as well, almost a life and death experience, she was like, that's not normal, Aunty. So fast forward to last winter, I bled for like a month. Right?
I remember you
so I call my gyno. I said, hey, what's going on? This is weird. She says, well, let's put you on progesterone so we can stop this bleeding. And it didn't stop. And so I just stopped taking it, right? But that began the journey for me to start asking. And I was a little upset about her jumping right to hysterectomy without talking about what's available to me in between. And so I went looking and seeking advice from an African-American gynecologist who doesn't even practice in the state of Ohio. She just was willing to talk to me. And maybe in the show notes I can put her information down.
Yeah, absolutely.
She actually has a book about, it's a whole book about navigating fibroids and how to help you with that. Dr. Sharon Rahman. That's we'll put her down. But anyway,
shout out to Dr. Sharon.
Yes, shout out to Dr. Yes, because she's doing a lot of work and in the menopause space. But she just helped me, and her book, it's free. iBooks download. She just helped me navigate the questions that I should be asking. Advocacy, ultimately leading to me. I mean, it was essentially having the heavy bleeding, having these, I used to call them mommy diapers. Literally, I started carrying a mommy diaper bag in the car because it would be unpredictable, not knowing what's happening. You know, and it's just a very uncomfortable experience. And then ultimately, as these ladies at the table know, I decided to go in and have a laparoscopic hysterectomy. So shout out to the Hyster sisters out there. But that was my choice because I knew early on, even trying you know, different levels of hormones when I was young from the birth control perspective, they never worked for me. So I wasn't interested. I'm always trying to do homeopathic stuff and homeopathic this and that. And this is the best decision. I cannot wait until I'm fully healed because it feels nice.
That's awesome.
Not to have to worry.
You're not fully healed?
I mean, it takes 8 weeks before you're fully healed.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
so your time takes.
The hysterectomy, like, stopped all of that. They took all your organs and the fibroids. Like, how many were there?
So essentially, I have what's called a total hysterectomy, where everything it's the uterus, the fallopian tubes, and the cervix, and then I still have my ovaries because I said, you know, I don't want to go through early menopause. There is a 50-50 chance that you will. And I've been having nice sweats ever since, so I'm kind of.
And that's a whole the whole menopause piece when you have a hysterectomy is like a whole detailed conversation. But Taquia, tell us about your time and your experience when you first realized something wasn't right with your body, and how long did it take before someone, you know, maybe you had a doctor that was amazing, but before someone realized what you were going through?
I mean, my story is interesting also. I would say when I started realizing I was having pain, and more like paying attention, because I think that's really what it is. It's like I was busy in life and with life. So that it might have been happening significantly longer than I might think. But when I was actually present to my body, I was like, ooh, this feels different. Like this is a different kind of pain.
Shift,
like
right?
this is really different.
Like a cramping type situation?
It was cramping, bloated a lot.
Did you ever have the clots? Did you pass the clots sometimes?
I definitely passed clots, and thought that was normal, in terms of my cycle.
That part, we think it's normal,
like
right?
definitely thought that was normal in terms of my cycle. And then I noticed though, so it's a lot of different changes. So I stopped using like regular pads and I started using more like the L brand, natural brands. Because I was like, I feel like that might have something to do with it. So I just started to like change. First I started honey pot and I was like, oh, it's a little too
spicy.
It's a little
spicy down
there. A little too much down there. It's a little.
I love honey pot.
I love
that.
I was like, ooh, it was too much for me.
It's like,
Is that the
I mean, but it's one that has like essential oils.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black-owned brand.
Black-owned brand.
Oh, yes. And
Target.
You know.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Lavender.
I mean, but I will say, I think even in terms of like whatever we're trying, different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? Like honey pot may not work well for me, but it works well for other people. So it's like understanding the chemistry of your body and allowing your body to tell you what it needs, I think has been the journey. But when I found, so I was like cramping, I finally was like, let me go. My best friend is a was a nurse at the time, still a nurse, but was a practicing nurse at the time, and she was like, you know, your stomach, you looking pregnant, you know, like, and I was like, oh, gee, okay, wow, and I was like, my stomach was just like protruding, but for me,
how rude.
I know, right? So rude.
Shout out to the best friends that are
Shout
real
out
with
to,
you, because I appreciate those. Tell me what it is.
Christine is real. And so I went to see a doctor, and it was an older woman. And I remember sitting in the office with her, and she was so matter of fact, you know? And she's like, well, this is what you can do. You know, you can get a procedure done. And she said it, whatever she said. And then she said, or you can do it naturally, and you're going to have to stop eating fruit. And at that point,
because the sugar causes
the sugar.
inflammation.
And at that point, I was like, well, I'm not eating anything else. You know, like at that point, it was like I'm juicing a lot. I'm, you know, like
veganism, correct?
Yeah, it was a vegetarianism, but more on the vegan side. You know, like it was just a different kind of life choice. And so I was like, man, if those are my only options, then right now I'm gonna have to still do my natural fruits. Like I can't, like at that point I was like, I'm not ready to like completely let that go. So then years passed, and then I would say probably about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and more so about 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, I was like, ooh, this is different.
Wait, so at this point
summer,
you still don't know that you have fibroids?
No, I know, because I got
the
test.
Well, now you do, but like
with that woman I did. She ran the test. She told me they were small.
Okay.
And so she was like, you know, you could, it's okay if you know, like here are your options. You can still remove them. You can, you know, reduce your fruit intake and stuff. So then when she did it, when I came to Cleveland, I was like, let me run some more tests again, because I'm still feeling it. And it feels like it's getting a little worse. You know, it's like, and I was like, okay, so let me run it. So we ran the test, some more, but small, you know, still small. But so I would say over the past 5 years, it's been like a unveiling a little bit of like, okay, what is this? And am I really ready to do what it takes to reverse it? Or
why were you guys so hesitant to just get rid of them?
Let me give my experience real quick. So
layers.
Like, it is interesting too. So that's actually a really good question. I didn't know I had fibroids because I didn't have the symptoms that most people have. I don't have heavy periods. It's like heavy for like the first day and a half. It's gone by like day 5, and by day 3, it's really kind of just trickling in. But my siblings have fibroids, and I went to my annual exam this year, and I was like, I've been peeing a lot. Like, I'm like, did I have? Let me tell you why. So mine are not in the uterus, which is why I don't have the heavy.
Mine as well.
So that makes So I'm like, I'm normal,
and it's
right?
Inside, it's not on.
Mine are on, not inside. Inside, I think, is a little bit worse, and why you have different symptoms. But let me tell you about the symptoms that I have, which prompted me to ask my gyno, like, hey, well, I'm peeing a lot. I'm like, when I started peeing a lot, I was like, what is wrong with me? Do I have diabetes? Like, that's like, I'm like, what is happening to my body? Because I knew something was wrong. Also, my bowel movements became really tough. And I'm like, I eat really well.
Very active lifestyle.
Very active lifestyle. And I'm like, okay, what is happening? So what it was, she said to me, she said, your uterus is enlarged, but I told you that last year, which is a lie. And I was very upset about that, because I'm like, if you would have told me my uterus was enlarged last year,
you'd have taken note.
I would have taken
I would know that.
note.
I would know that you told me that.
I mean, I know I got a lot going on, but I'm like, you didn't tell me that. And I said, well, why is it enlarged? She said, probably for fibroids. And I'm like, is that why maybe I have, like, I'm urinating more and my bowels are like tough? So long story short, when they did the scan, I had to have a CT. I did an intravaginal ultrasound, and then I had an MRI, which was the worst thing ever. I don't know if I've never had an MRI before. I'm like, why are these things? You're in this capsule, and things are. It's like literally like a whole marching band is going on around you.
Oh, wow.
Could you feel the magnetic pull?
I could not feel that, but the sound the banging, the screaming, the sirens, it was really disturbing. And I'm not a hospital girl. My mother was not a hospital person. It just didn't happen. She just,
no one should be a hospital.
Nobody, right.
Unless you need to be there.
Unless you need to be there. But they find these fibroids. Obviously they confirm what the intravaginal ultrasound says, and it's literally the biggest ones are pressing my bowel and my bladder.
How big were they?
So I have 10 to 12.
Wow.
And I think 4 to 5 are large. And now then it's a matter of figuring out what you want to do. But anyway, we'll get into that. But
I'm gonna stop asking
that was
questions.
no, you're totally
This
fine.
is great.
But that was like the flow, right? Like it was like, first of all, what? I have fibroids. I don't have bad periods. Like you associate, and on top of that, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I felt ashamed. I'm like, what did you do? Like, why do you have these? I felt ashamed, right? But in the flow of like, you know, my mom's children and all, like, it's, I guess, why wouldn't you have them? You're not excused from this.
This affects
project.
everybody.
It affects everybody. And I hate that I felt ashamed, but that was honestly the way that I felt. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you for sharing it.
story.
You know, your emotions and your feelings around that.
I talk about it to anybody that asks because I think we talked about this in other episodes, kind of like that culture of quietness.
Yes.
We're not having enough discussions,
Yeah.
or we lose people through early deaths before you get to that point to even be thinking about asking these questions.
Shame is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like
Shame, because you feel like, well, I should know you.
Or I should have did better. What didn't I do
even with
right?
professional women, right, that have had the opportunity to attend, maybe they're degreed or not, but knowing ourselves seems to be like the opposite.
Right.
We're just kind of told, we follow a prescription of what we think we should be doing. We're checking the checkbox, like, why am I feeling this way? I'm this, I'm that. Well,
There is no blueprint.
There is no blueprint.
For illness at all.
Yeah.
And even though they're non-cancerous, thankfully, you know, you do feel. I mean,
So they can be cancer.
No, they're not.
Well,
I mean, I don't know that that's true across the board.
So for me, I had to have an endometriosis scan because endometriosis can also be connected. Then there's also uterine. There could be cancer. It could be full. Cancer can go anywhere. But it tends to show up. It mimics sometimes pain like fibroids or things like PCOS. There's a lot of things that happen.
PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you're not familiar,
Thank you.
It's okay. Yeah.
Breaking it down. So so you have to get these tests because you could be diagnosing one thing. You know, even now, you know, still I have to continue to maintain and check up because things could show up elsewhere.
Yeah. Thanks, Bree, for asking all the questions.
Yeah.
I do have
the
one
30
more.
something.
Do you guys
go ahead.
have a hysterectomy or
No.
no?
Let's
We'll
get
get
there.
there.
But that's actually one of the things, right? Like that's one of the ways. But let's talk about some of the pressures that literal pressures. Let's talk about the emotional weight of fibroids. We often talk about the physical pain, but what about the emotional exhaustion? The way it changes how you see your body, your femininity, even your relationships.
It's
like what
frustrating.
Is that?
Before now, I mean, I was planning a trip with one of my friends, and she kept getting frustrated because, you know, there's obvious conflicts with work and childcare, but then I would go, well, this is a week I'll be on my period.
Yes.
And after she kept hearing me go, why do you keep, and she, dismissiveness kind of to like, what's going on, to be gross. And we ended up traveling. Period ended up coming, and you know, you take the group shots and everything, and I shared the album because I also was filming what was going on with me. I take pictures of every time I pass a clot, and she actually got the picture. She goes,
clot is a whole mass
she said,
of
oh my
disgustingness.
friend, she was like, oh my God, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I feel like I'm having not hysterectomy, but a spontaneous abortion every time I have my period. Like it's that serious for me.
Wow. Really
and so that compassion shifts because you go, she hadn't been experiencing that. But that helped her go, oh my God, like, girl, what's going on? I'm like, I know, right?
Being a woman is a very like tough thing. I mean, like, when you talk about that, like, it resonates deeply. I've had friends, and growing up, I had a friend particularly, like, everything was planned around her period. And in my adult life with you, everything, like, I'd be like,
it's
oh
real, man.
on her period.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I can't go. I can't because I have to be by the toilet every 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's just, it was terrible.
But think about like all the women who don't know that it's fibroids that are causing these issues.
I mean, it's
My
interesting.
aunt said it. She was like depressed.
Yes.
Just like you said,
quality of life.
Snatches that mood.
It also affects your
Smashes that
libido.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
We don't need that.
No.
But it's real, but it's something.
Mine's like mine's never impacted.
Okay, let me
Gotta
get
get you run that. Get you one that runs the stop sign.
No, I'm just saying those are definitely big things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's
So
a lot.
planning around that and making sure that you're able to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is really real.
It's wild.
Oh, man.
When I was in
And if you're
Ghana
bleeding
this
for a
summer,
month.
I was, and this is why when I came back, I was like, oh, I got to do something really different. I was literally taking a Midol every day.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't do pills like that. So I'm like, wait a minute. So at some point I was like, wait a minute. And then I stopped. So I was like, let me just pay attention a little more because something is communicating to me even differently now. But yeah, because it affects my mood. I remember my mom, she would be like, and this is recently, so this is why I was like, okay, I really need to look at this. She's like, are you okay? Like, I can tell it just comes over you. And that's literally what it feels like. It feels like a come over.
Yes.
And I'm just like, mood is like,
you're like a prisoner.
like the face, everything is just different.
It's like the, what is this? SVU, the
yes, literally.
That's
the victim's unit.
Wait a minute, y'all. We filmed the episode, and Ramon walked in like, my period came today.
Oh my God,
it's true.
We like, what is wrong with my period? That was the last episode.
Oh my God.
It was so fun. And it was funny, but it was like, oh girl, we
get it.
But
thankfully now it's only 3 days, and it's like
beautiful.
But that first day is like terrible.
Mine is the pain. It used to be where there'd be like, I would have a month where it would be painful and then kind of easy period.
Yeah.
Then it would be heavy period and no cramps.
Yeah.
Then I started getting hit with everything. Like I would be in bed literally just crying because I'm taking ibuprofen, which I learned later robs you of your iron. And if you already have low iron, it's like
most black women have low iron.
It's a lot that you're trying to sort.
Yeah.
Steals from you.
Yeah.
I think emotionally for me, like the fibroids themselves, when you don't understand what is happening with your body, like I am like dramatizing diabetes for God's sake. Meanwhile, this woman says, "Oh, a year ago your uterus was enlarged," but you didn't tell me that.
They just say your uterus enlarged. They don't tell you exactly what is causing it.
I don't remember her saying that because I know I'm not a doctor person, but I would have been like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Why? What can I do? Yeah, you would have asked questions.
I would have asked questions.
It would have been way more memorable.
It would have been way more.
But it's not always an issue to have a larger uterus than so you don't know it's
like, okay, I have that,
the
but then what?
may have grown in that year, and then because I wasn't experiencing symptoms either. Like it was literally like months before I had my appointment that all of a sudden I'm peeing more, and now I'm dramatizing. I got diabetes, and I got all these other issues, and my bowels aren't moving properly, and I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Like you will create stories, and so for me emotionally, it was like, what is happening to me, right? Especially when you're over 40, you like. Okay, I need to go to the doctor, and I'm not a doctor girl, but
I think that's important, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
Go. You have to go.
Yeah. When things, don't procrastinate it. Don't let it. You have to go.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. So let's talk about the Tuskegee experiment. Anyway, look it up. Look it up. Look it up. There's a reason.
That's real, though.
There's a reason.
Right? And so
there's a reason.
The medical mistrust and misdiagnosis, because that's a thing too. I think with Black women, maybe there's like already an idea that if we have something going on reproductively, it's our fibroids. Okay, maybe.
Right.
But do you think like historical neglect of Black women health shows up in our personal stories today? Even in, I think I have a
hell yeah.
Double down on that.
All day. Hell yeah. They don't want to fix our problems. Why?
Well, they do when it becomes lucrative for them to then push the next thing, which are drugs or something that you may not need to do.
Something we can continue to keep you on. The medicines that we're taking every day.
And that's I feel like that's women's health.
Ain't doing it. Too. I do think that it's a women's health issue.
For sure.
Women we're not heard, and I know. I think it's relevant for this episode because it's like we're not heard. We could go in and have some concerns. Me, I don't have any. Do you have heavy periods? No, right? Because they might dismiss me as it being thyroids.
Yeah, right.
But the fact is that no, it is that. But we're dismissed. Oh, it's just in your head. But there's also things like I'm gonna keep saying it. The Tuskegee experiment, where they have experimented on Black bodies, and we don't participate in research. So no, there's not a lot of research around us. Because we like, you not messing with my body. All the more reason for Black OBGYNs.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I teamed up this time around. And if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, it's the Stephanie Tubbs. It's in East Cleveland. I do not care. Pull up because they have an amazing team there. Yeah. And they worked with me. Even though my surgeon is still, his name was Dr. Yusuf. Even though he's not a Black person, he still understood the mission. He knew what was important to me and made me feel at ease. But that's what made me more aware by actually having a team that looked like me. Made a big dramatic difference. And there's some cities, some places where women just don't have access to that. But I'm almost like invest in that road trip.
I mean, and also
Seriously.
I would say too, there's a holistic doctor that I've been working with as well, who's also a friend. Because I think too, for me, I'm on I need to comprehend a little bit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I never think that there's only two options. You know what I mean? Like there's always, there's a field of infinite possibilities. And I want to make sure just because one person's presenting one thing, another person's presenting something.
Right.
I don't want that to serve my world of how fibroids and my fibroids can be reversed or removed, right?
Yes.
Because it's important for me, like I have my own inner guidance system as well. You know what I mean? And so making sure that I'm able to hear different sides.
Yeah.
And then when I make an informed decision,
There you go.
I can stand on that decision
Because
it's
you
my
can
body.
make a decision.
Yeah, because I can make a
You don't
decision.
have to do what you can say no.
You can say no.
And you could go try again. And
Absolutely.
Come back with something
Absolutely.
else.
And
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with that. You know, always get more opinions and understand that it is going to take some work on your behalf
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
If
Period.
that means a lifestyle change for you,
Yes.
you got to do the work too,
Yeah.
honey. The doctors are not going to always have 100% answer for
Agreed.
you because, you know, some of these fibroids are so small. When you go in for surgery, they can't get them
Which was
all.
my conversation,
Yes.
yeah.
For me, like, I didn't even realize as a kid when I first had my period, like I would get sick, like morning sickness.
Yes. Yes. I would throw
So
up.
I had periods
Yes.
that would keep me home, and I was just like, oh well, this is my
Normal,
story.
right?
This is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
I'll figure out how to get through it and make it work. But not until in my 30s that I have my sister-in-law have this conversation with me, and thankfully I had a doctor, Dr. Linda Shiver, who is at Metro Hospital, who advocated for me, and thankfully I also had a partner who came
Shout out to
every
Mac.
Shout out to Mac.
appointment.
Right.
He had questions
Yes.
like, how
baby,
can
what's
I
going on? Right.
assist her in this? Like, what do I need to know? What
That's
can
love.
I do to help her feel better in this process?
This is, I mean, the support. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
It's
it
real.
matters because as we're moving through what we're moving through,
Yeah.
one, we need no shame around that because you can't control. You cannot. It just happens, and then
Yeah.
you be how you be as you move through that, right? And so to have someone that can love you so tenderly to make sure, like, are you good? Let me ask
Yes.
questions on your behalf. Also,
And that makes you want to do
it's
the
so
work
important.
even more.
Makes you want to do the work.
Yes.
The last thing I wanted to say to your point, because I was thinking about it too, is like I'm also seeing what the relationship is to when we were younger and how we experienced our periods to now being able to say it's fibroids. It's like, then what would we have called it at 16? What would we have called it at 17?
Right.
Because I remember I used to have heavy periods as well.
Yeah.
Very, very, very heavy.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I would plan everything around it. I
have to.
was on birth control.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I was like, oh wait, I'm going where? I'm traveling. Hold on, let me count this out.
Let me double up.
Yeah, let me double up because I need to
Give me a
make
few
sure.
days.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I started to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
the fact that there was something that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm also just curious. I'm in an inquiry in this moment.
Yes.
You know, of just like, well, what is it? Why is it that things are spotted 10 years later, 30 years later, versus like when we were younger experiencing it, and it's just sort of like a normal thing.
Yeah, I do want to. So I know you want to jump in, but I do want to just attack that a little bit. So I have had children, and so just like you, when I was younger, my periods were very heavy. I remember this vividly, being like 12, 13 years old. I got my period at like 12 and a half, and being on the floor of the kitchen because it was cool, and it helped me with the pain. It was really weird, but I was in excruciating pain. Now they say after you have children, the cycles get a little bit easier, but I do think the body evolves. And talking to women over 40, hey y'all brunchers with a posture, your body does evolve, and that change and that shift in estrogen and progesterone impacts it.
Makes
So
sense.
it's not quite the same as
that
when
makes
you
sense.
are younger. It evolves.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
the body evolves.
Thank you.
That's what I was going to say.
That is
so
helpful.
for me, I know, again, we don't, unfortunately, there's no, like when you start your period for the first time, you know it's your period, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know when second puberty comes. Perimenopause
Ooh,
shifts
second
all
puberty.
types of things. My blood pressure started going up. You know, again, these night sweats, these different symptoms. And so, actually shifted a research paper that I was working on because of how I was being impacted by all of this, and it sent me down a perimenopause and the menopause rabbit hole, which is really great, more from a corporate perspective, and what companies can and can't, what they do and don't do to help support women through these phases. But to your point, that's what I remember. I was like, why wasn't it this bad? Like, I had my daughter at 35. Is that what it is? And then it cooled down. My allergies got better. But then as I started nearing that second puberty, that's when all this started to become just so much harder for me. So the decision was easier for me to say, let's do a hysterectomy, because I'd already made a person. Now, I don't know how I'd have felt at 35, 36 before becoming a mother. I probably would have said, no, let's stop here. Let's go with the shorter solution, right? But
I'm happy you mentioned hysterectomy again, because I think that leads back to Bree's question. I want to make sure we address that. You asked, do we all have hysterectomy? And I think it aligns with the medical mistrust piece. As Aunty mentioned, they mentioned hysterectomy to
immediately.
Immediately. They
but
did the
my
same
age
to me.
Like,
And my thing is, like, I really don't care how old I am. I want to leave with the parts I came with as much as possible. I also am very sensitive around the historic aspect of what they have done to Black women bodies and Black species bodies, Black men and women. Tuskegee experiment. That's just one of many. I'm just throwing that out there because that's a very well-known one.
Henrietta.
So for me, I did schedule a surgery, not a myomectomy. I know you may speak about your myomectomy, but I guess it will be a myomectomy, but it won't be the procedure that they'll perform will not be laparoscopically. So I'll get an incision.
So you haven't done it yet.
I have not done it yet. I am scheduled, but the point is, it's like
paying though.
So what again? My problem is I am tired of. I know, and that's another thing too, right? Part of like me getting up in the middle of the night to pee. Like, why am I 12 and need to stop? No, 5 and need to stop drinking water at 8 o'clock. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I want to be like, I am getting up every single night, and we know how important sleep is. That's a whole nother topic around wellness. I'm getting up in the middle of the night. I'm not having proper bowel movements. Respectfully, my favorite thing to do is to get this stuff that I eat out of me. So it's not like I need to be regular. I need to be regulated. My periods are still normal, and they're the same as they always have been. Again, another reason why I wouldn't have known, but so from my choice will be, you're not taking my uterus if you don't have to. And the easiest way for them to get everything out is to go in and take and just to cut me. So that's my decision at this particular moment, but I would love to hear what your thoughts are.
So for me, I'm thankful to have a doctor who said, I've looked at your ultrasounds and your fibroids that are affecting you are on the outside. We can remove these and keep your uterus intact. Mac and I were actually still in the process of deciding if we wanted to have children, and she was gung-ho for that. Like, if you guys want to have children,
we want them to have children too.
I want you to, have every go at it. You're still young. And they will tell us, at a certain age. My mother had her last at 44.
I think my sister was 45.
They'll tell you, you two, this is a geriatric pregnancy.
I refute that as well, because that data wasn't based on Black women.
So I had a doctor advocated for me. I had a partner that advocated for me, and I was truly advocating for myself.
There you go.
That's right.
Self-advocacy. I had never had a major surgery. So that was a huge thing for me, because I was like, I need to understand the ramifications of how this is going to affect me after that. And sitting with myself a year later, like, it was like, this is a lot has changed with my body. Fibroids are not, like, you got to figure it out. You have to take the time to understand what you need to do for you. I had to change a certain way I ate. I had to make sure that I just took care of myself.
So now you're living with them.
No,
you had
I had the surgery, but my uterus is still intact.
Did you do laparoscopic myomectomy?
No, so I have a C-section cut. And that's also a thing that people don't talk about, like, and that I didn't get until I talked to my mother-in-law. You will always have phantom pains.
Oh yeah, I do.
And I was like, why ain't nobody telling me
what is phantom
this
pains?
shit?
Can you explain it?
Just a light twinge every
like
now and then.
They're like zingers.
Like,
right?
if you ever stop and see a elder or auntie just stop and rub
me,
for
your auntie,
like, just hold this room all day.
It's a phantom pain.
Yeah.
Like, you had a major incision.
Yeah.
You opened yourself up right there. But to also make sure you take care of those incisions and those cuts. And
Vitamin E oil is great for
Mm.
that and massaging.
Yeah.
Especially
So
I have
good.
keloiding skin.
Same.
So
You get those little
mine
rollers.
too.
I had that. I had it on my
Yeah,
breast
so
as well.
I just would do that, and
Yeah.
like this one
That's
was
a really good idea.
large.
Yeah.
It was. I remember
Like
that being
self-care.
larger.
I
Yeah.
just
Go ahead.
smoothed it out.
Also, my period started the day after surgery.
Really?
Wow, yeah.
So you're
that-
talking about dealing with, because I had a C-section too. So C-section like pain and being on your cycle.
Yes.
Damn.
And
Y'all
I
hear
still,
what women go through.
I still felt that.
Right.
Don't.
Right. We're going to get into
We
some
stand on
celebrity
that.
talk here,
Oh
y'all.
my seriously.
Lupita and
We stand
Yongo
on
recently
that.
talked
Dun,
about
dun.
her battle with fibroids and her journey. She cried. She expressed this, and y'all know how tiny Lupita is.
Right.
She had
Shout out to
30,
Luos.
Yeah.
30
Yes.
fibroids. We're gonna insert a clip for y'all to listen to.
My tears are joy because I have wanted to be in a room like this with people who are invested in figuring out how to deal with this massive issue, uterine fibroids. 2014 was a very pivotal year for me. It was the year that I won an Academy Award. It was also the year that I discovered that I had fibroids. I was 31 and I was given two options: surgery to remove them or live with the pain. And at the time, I chose surgery, and I had a myomectomy in November of 2014. And after the myomectomy, I asked my doctor, okay, what can I do to make sure they don't recur? How do I make sure they don't recur? And she said, you can't. That it's only a matter of time until they grow back. And I fundamentally realized at that point that as women, from a very early age, we are taught to expect to suffer. And that suffering we're expected to do in silence.
As we think about like Lupita, how did you feel like seeing a woman of her visibility share that kind of vulnerability? She was really vulnerable, as you all will see in this clip, in her admission of this issue that Black women suffer through. I'm so personally.
I know. I'm gonna take it personal.
Go ahead,
So my child's father is of Luo tribe, the same as Lupita. So of course, every time she was on screen, I'm like, yeah, that's your people. Same with Obama. But of course, it just resonates because I'm raising a little girl.
Yeah.
And you know, her body type is very similar to mine. I'm praying she takes after her father's amazing genetics and doesn't have to go through this. You know, I don't unless I don't know. I'm not sure if there are women in his family have dealt with this, right? That might be a conversation the next time we travel to Kenya. But seeing her, it just helps you empathize. You don't ever want to see your sister or somebody you know or not going through pain, but her taking that stance at her level of visibility.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of following the train. I think Oprah and Hallie, they've done these things. It's so important because this is how we make change. This is what we're doing. The brunch table is how we have these conversations.
Pull up a seat at the brunch table with GCOB Group Chat Over Brunch.
And expressing this within my community. I had a sister reach out to me recently. I was talking to another friend who told her, and she called me, and now she's advocating for what she needs to do. You know, she's had 5 kids. She's like, hey, you know, she's thinking about doing the change. And I said, here, I just told her everything I did to make sure you got the right answers. Yeah. But she wouldn't have known that had I not. This is like somebody I'm close with.
Yeah.
But she hadn't been talking to me about it. She's suffering at home, and you know, and so that matters.
Don't suffer in silence. And
Do
I think
not.
and we have an episode that we talk about, you know, the kind of silent shame. I opened this with, I was ashamed. I'm like, why do I have fibroids? What did I do wrong? What can I have done better? But you know what? So what do y'all think? Like, what is it in her visibility for this? I know for me personally, I have some thoughts. But what do y'all think? And her even for you, Bree, like you never heard of like fibroid or your godmother, but like,
and to be 1,000% honest, I didn't even know that they were because my mom asked me what the next topic was, and I was like fibroids, and I don't know much, so I don't think I'll be speaking a lot. And she's like, that's what Auntie Tiffany has.
wow.
See? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
I
hits you,
didn't
right?
even.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, like, did she ever say it to me? I don't think, I just knew she had that episode. We freaked out. We had to go to her, and then she had surgery.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever, like, told to me she had fibroids.
Yeah.
And that's what caused this episode to where she was, like, really ill.
Right.
Like, she could not, she lives in LA, so, like, there's stairs to get to her apartment. She couldn't get down the stairs. She couldn't even leave her house. Like,
She's okay.
and so I just,
Okay.
she had surgery. She had
Hey, Auntie.
a full hysterectomy, and
Okay.
she's good.
There you
Yeah.
go.
She literally, and actually, now that, because I
cartwheels,
was
man.
talking to her on my way here, she was like, I was like, so how many do you have?
She was
Whatever.
up early, y'all.
Definitely.
Yes,
Bree. On our way to work.
Thank you,
And
Auntie.
Yes.
And
Thank you, Auntie.
She is my second mom.
I love it.
I love
And
that.
so I'm like, I was like, so tell me these things. She was like, I honestly didn't care. I just wanted them out. She was like, I was so
There you
sick
go.
that I don't really even have any details to tell you because I just knew, okay, cool, the surgeon's going to fix it. Do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's like
Real.
that's
Yeah.
like the thing. Like, I mean, Lupita's story and your auntie's story. Like, Lupita, if she had 30, y'all, she was suffering in silence.
Yeah.
There are so many of us suffering in silence, and it's time to bring this thing home.
Right.
Like, bring it to the surface.
Talk
and
about
bubble
it.
it up.
Talk to the
about
young
it.
ladies.
Yes.
Talk to
Yeah.
the young ladies. Talk to the 30-somethings who are discovering something that's not quite right, and they need to figure out. That's the biggest thing. Like, have these conversations with one another as women.
Don't
like,
assume it's just you.
It's just you.
Because
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
always
It's
my
not.
problem. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God,
It's
it's
not.
just me. I think,
It's not.
and I know we said in one of the episodes, like, I think Akuya and I made like a connection or something. I'm like, oh my God, you too? And I said specifically, it's not a misery loves company. It's like, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
makes you like
Yeah.
emotional because I'm not alone. I've been living alone
You
for
feel
so
you feel
long.
safe to be vulnerable, and that's
Yes.
what happened. I was talking
Yeah.
about my situation to my aunt Sharon, not the doctor, and she was the one that gave me the idea about the laparoscopic, because I honestly thought that you just needed to do cesarean. I didn't know how it worked, but she explained the process. She made it seem so easy, which people are not like, you walking around, you're supposed to be in bed rest for 6 weeks. I'm
right?
like,
Yeah.
no, I mean I have to take it easy, but. That safety of having, especially a relative, kind of explain her journey, it made me say, okay, this is the best thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Did you just
amazing.
recently have this?
Yes, girl,
Yeah.
on October 20th. Well, a while ago.
So I mean, I think that's
weeks ago.
I do want to talk about the fertility.
Yeah.
I know, right? So I
Right.
do want to talk about
Right.
Yes.
I want to
Right.
talk. Oh, so that is definitely fertility related.
That
because
part.
Auntie made a
Right.
decision.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
Her ass. How did we not know that?
I love you.
So I
A real one right
so, So the hysterectomy is a removal of the organs. So Auntie made the decision. She has a daughter.
Yes.
But let's talk about fertility and womanhood. For those of us who dealt with fibroids, there's often this fear about fertility, aging. I know you mentioned you were not considering and choice. How do you redefine womanhood outside of the pressure of reproduction? Because what if you have these things and they're so bad and the best choice for you, not just pushed onto you is a hysterectomy, but the best choice for you is a hysterectomy. Talk to us about, I mean, I have a child, or 2 children. I have children.
Two,
my
don't
baby.
you?
Hey,
Two
Jay,
of
hey,
them.
Mir.
2 whole children.
Like, as a woman, like, how are these pressures, how do we redefine
Girl,
woman?
fuck the pressures.
Hey,
It's up to you.
say
Like,
something else.
it's up to you. If you decide that this is the journey you want to go on, you want to have kids, like, make sure you can find someone
Freeze your eggs.
who can advocate for you. But if we don't have children, we are completely fine.
Yeah.
And
we,
whole as
Yes.
women.
Yes.
We and whole as ever.
Oh, I thought you said hoe.
I'm all for my husband, but
Maybe later.
They always
But
mixing up my words,
she's a freak when
brunchers.
Scorpio.
That was another episode.
child. But that's a part of the work.
Yeah.
Scorpio,
That's-
sorry.
it
Last
is.
one, last one.
It
That's
is.
a part of
That
all of the
is.
work for yourself and
Yes.
but understanding
Yeah.
what this could mean for your life.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
if
Yeah.
you're not able to bring life into this world through your own body, there are children that need love. There are
Absolutely.
people in your,
Absolutely.
children and people in your life that you can love on.
Yes.
We are okay with being Auntie Ramai and Uncle Mac.
Oh,
we
I
are
love
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
The
But
best
I just
around,
wanna-
too.
They are.
The best
Y'all, we just love them
I
so
just wanna
much.
feel
Shout out
good.
to you.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
So
I mean,
much love.
what you just ended with, Ramai, in terms of I just want to feel good.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that I would say that is for me inside of my choice. You know, and like. And from head to toe, I want to feel good. So in my choice, in my decision, whatever it's going to be, I want to feel good about it, you know? And so I think in terms of choice, it's like, do either way, there's work.
Yep.
Whatever you choose,
Yep.
it's a process. And so making sure that you choose which process are you okay with, right?
Yeah.
And then walk that like 10 toes down. You know
10
what I
toes
mean? Like
down.
just
All the way
really
down.
walk that. Because again, either way, one of the things I'm clear about is I'm going to have to wake up in this body every day.
Period.
Yes.
And so if, you know, like if I'm okay with the potential phantom pain or the potential not having a kid or whatever the potential outcomes are
Yeah.
for whatever choice, whichever one feels better than the other will win.
Yeah.
You know, in that choice making process. But I think most importantly, you got to make a choice. You know, like I know for myself,
There you
I'm
go.
going to get to my choice, but I can never be rushed to my choice. I was never that
Yes.
chick, you know, but like
Right.
when I get to it, I'm in it. I'm fully in it and I'm good, you know? So choose with 10 toes down.
I
For
love
sure.
that.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh my goodness, that's I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
When we think about the medical system and we think about turning pain into power, I know for me personally, like I've been asked to be a part of like some research studies. I'm like, you ain't studying on me. You know, I'm not a drug person anyway. So similar to what you said, like you're not taking Midol, but you had to take it. When you have to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. But how do y'all think, or how would you change the medical system to truly listen to Black women? And this goes deep, right? We're talking about a reproductive system, although we're focusing on fibroids. Fibroids live in our reproductive system, the thing that carries our babies. And there are so many stories about, there's one that sticks out to me, I won't get into it, but there's so many stories about Black women going to the hospital. The mortality rate for Black babies is through the roof in comparison to other demographics. But how would you ask the medical system to truly listen to us? What would that look like, and what can we do until it does? Like, what can we do?
I personally have to say that being a part of some of these studies is how we get the answers that we need to have, because there is not a part of, you know, we don't have the information.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts with the childhood encouragement for more of us to get involved with STEM. For more of us to start even young. I know it sounds like it's, that sounds, but to encourage our young women and young men, right, of color, to start looking into the medical field and start taking these sciences, and also looking at other things than just what the West. You have to have almost like an Ayurvedic approach too, as well,
Absolutely.
because there's so much more that we can bring into this space, so much more richness. But we have to start, like you said, getting involved, but building these places, not just for us, but that are led by us, to your point, Hadja, right? Whether it's involved with the executive piece, that's a big part of it, especially if you're working in the West. It's a business, right? A lot of these hospitals, they might be saying they're
always.
nonprofit, but if you have these people in these decisions, they're the ones that are staffing. They're the ones that are pulling these things in, that are putting that research dollars. That's what it's not just also being the white coat, it's being the suit that helps to make those decisions, to see what type of research, what type of funding happens.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's encouraged enough.
It's not,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
definitely
Finish
agree
what
with
you're gonna
that.
say,
too. Yeah.
But so, my sister-in-law being an OBGYN,
Right.
she is who encouraged me to be a part of some studies.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the time when I was on birth control, different options of birth control
Yes.
for women that would not affect them as much hormonally. So that allows them to study more. The Black doctors that we now have in the medical system, they have to have people, you know, be a part of these studies so they can continue their research and their focus on
Yes.
making sure that we can have what we need to be better.
Yeah.
What's your sister-in-law's name?
Lena Wiley.
We gonna get Lena Wiley out here.
Shout out to Lena
Dr.
Wiley.
Wiley. Thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Wiley.
Lena Wiley.
Yes.
I'm acting. Look, one of my favorite podcasts. I'm acting like those guys, but anyway.
Shout out to my girl.
Shout out to
love
Lena
it.
Wiley. I know we want to get around the table, but I agree. I think that we have had an immense amount of fear. Like you said, I want to look at a face that would understand me. I am my mother instilled the fear of everything in us when it comes, and I'm okay with that, right? When it comes to being in these systems,
Right.
and taking these drugs, and it really is scary for me. But I'm okay with it being scary because it forces me to take care of myself, which is why I probably was embarrassed about the whole what didn't you do?
And do your own research.
Yeah.
And do your own
I
research.
think that's a big
That's
point.
what it is.
But do your own research,
That's
do
what
your
it
own
is.
studying. I need to understand, and then as a community, let's come together. Aquia has mentioned several times leveraging her community. Ramont mentioning leveraging her community. Aunty finding people that are aligned with her. We have to come together and say, look, this is the problem that we have. Let's find a community, at least community research solution, so we're not doing this on our own, because it's heavy on our own to do this work. So let's engage together, and y'all can absolutely reach out to us, brunchers, because we will find you what you need. But I'm sorry, I think you were going to say something.
No, that was it. It was just what you said. Like, don't
Okay.
be afraid to have these conversations. Again, you know, your 20s and your 30s, perhaps these aren't impacting you, but if you still have access to your elders, ask them questions.
Yes.
Because knowing your body connected to people who are genetically connected to you
Yeah.
will help
Oh,
you
yeah.
understand
Yeah.
before you even get to that point. I wish I would have had more conversations with my mother
too.
around, well, why do you think this is, and what is going on, and what's
Oh,
happening
yeah.
with my grandmother,
My
who's
grandmother.
still to this day.
And
She's
also,
still
no,
right.
go
Go. No,
ahead.
I was
No,
gonna say,
no, no.
but that's the most important thing. Just if you have access to these women who are connected to you, especially if they're older, just start asking them questions. Start
Connected
keeping like a research
biologically. Yep.
logbook.
Yes,
Right.
that's
a great
Yes.
idea.
I was just gonna say, also make sure you give them grace.
There you go.
Because they didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
That part. That part.
They didn't have
That
Google.
part.
There was no Google back in the day.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Google,
part.
Google was.
Absolutely.
Did Tina have that? No, she didn't.
I love this. Has been an amazing conversation addressing us, y'all brunchers out there, and our younger community as well. Bree has a few questions we want to attack from the Ask Aunty segment. This is your time. Like, again, always put your questions in the chat. It could be from any episode. We will come out and address you. We're gonna have some lives for y'all too.
Yes.
Hey. We're gonna have some lives. But I'm gonna hand it over to Bree. I don't know, Bree, if you wanted to add to that, or if you just want to jump into your Ask. This is your segment, bro.
I think we're just
Get
gonna
it.
jump right in, and I
Okay.
think I'm only gonna ask one of the questions because I feel like you guys have really covered pretty much all the things besides this one. I'm 30. That's the wrong one. Here we go. Auntie, how do you show up for work when you're in pain every day but can't afford to take off? I thought that was like
I looked at Auntie immediately.
So again, my situation is unique. I've been a remote worker for 10 years. So really when a lot of this, my life started to change, became a mother. And I'll give an example of a recent situation in the last year. I had just got on a call with my manager. I miss her so much. She left the company. But I said, hey, Karen, her name is Karen. She's not a Karen. I said, hey, Karen.
Yeah.
And I said,
It's always good when a Karen's
you
not a
feel
Karen.
that? Dun-dun.
Period.
I said, I gotta call you back.
Yeah.
Like we were just about to have a meeting because that flush came down.
Yeah.
I used to call it a burst administration.
Right. But again, and that goes back to even me looking at my research, like not every woman is going to have a baby, but there's policies that say you can take this time off if you decide to have children. Where is that for women that are having these problems? There's no
Right.
policies like that, right?
Like the Africans say.
So I, again, but I'm further along in my career. I can say I'm not coming in today.
Yeah.
But that
Or
takes a level of confidence that
yes.
you have to build
It does.
over time.
Yes,
Like when
it
you're
does.
afraid.
But if I had if like back when I was having to go in office and I still sat through it, I really didn't know my body then either. But it was obvious to people around me, you just go and take the rest of the day off. But I shouldn't have to bleed through my clothing.
For that
I
to
should
be
be
the
able to
case.
tell
But what,
you.
what
You
should
have
this
to
person
speak up
do?
for yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like what should
You
this
have
person
to
do in that situation?
you have to speak up
Yeah.
for
You
yourself.
have to.
Yeah.
You have to say, I
Yep.
need,
Yep.
I need this.
Yes.
I have to go.
Yeah.
I can't be here right now.
Yeah, and know your ADA rules because
Yes.
some of this could be considered an ADA claim,
that's
right?
actually a really
that's
good
very
point.
important.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and that's what we
good.
talked about.
And
It's
if
like,
it's not, I think that's actually a prompt for us to do this work to start to push for some of this policy because
For sure.
yes,
this
Yeah.
isn't
Across
there
the
are
board.
young
Yeah.
girls in Africa
Yeah.
that
Yep.
do not go to school
Yeah.
because they are on their cycles.
Yes.
Right.
Let's not get okay, we're not gonna go there because it's gonna really touch me too deep. But just know that in this country, at least we can start to at least influence policy
Absolutely.
around these things.
Right.
So I love
Absolutely.
that ad about ADA.
Absolutely.
Be
Yeah,
vocal.
Yeah,
Be
you gotta be
vocal.
vocal.
Be
And if
vocal.
they don't
Gotta be vocal.
understand, I feel like
that's not
just
the
not
place
a
for you.
Yeah.
And we talked about this
It's
before.
not.
Google.
That's a very
Google.
tough thing, though.
It's not
Google
easy,
works.
especially when you're working,
Google
maybe
works.
low,
Look it
like
up.
retail jobs or places.
Right.
But these jobs are also a lot of turnover. If one company's not going to let you take that time off, be mindful and say, okay, maybe I can't use all my vacation day to go turn up. I might have to save a couple days out of the month or whatever because I know this is coming. And that's what I was doing. I had a manager who wasn't, this is your same place, but she didn't really understand why I was calling in sick certain times. I said, well, because if I come into work, this is what's gonna happen. I mean, sometimes you just gotta bleed on y'all.
I mean, you gotta bleed on them. And you know what?
Being responsible is what you're saying.
Yes.
Like, be responsible with your time.
Yeah, because I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say it is about the strategy. You know, and I think depending on where you are, because there are so many layers and levels to employment and to work that it's not a one size fits all. So what I would say is, one, do what you need to in the meantime. So if that means you got to pop a Midol, pop a Midol. But know when you pop it, your intention is to figure out, now how can I do this better and in a way that can take care of my health? Like, don't just pop the Midol or whatever it is that you're doing without then thinking about what's going to be my long-term plan here. Can I still stay here? Like, use it as a moment of reflection, I would even say, you know, and thinking about that strategy of like, okay, to Andy's point, I might not be able to go kick it, travel, like use my vacation the way I want to, but if I can use it in the moments when I need it most, that's okay for now. It's temporary. So you got to keep talking yourself into the fact that this is a temporary play. It is not a forever play. And then keep mapping it out. Keep mapping out how to use your time, how to talk to people to get some support.
Be mindful of what you're eating.
Be mindful of the way you're eating.
And
drinking.
research.
And drinking. Reduce your sugar intake, your processed food intake.
Like, I realize that. Yeah, I know.
But tea works wonders.
Green tea.
Oh, I love tea. I was just, one of these books out here is a recipe.
She does.
Raspberry tea.
Get her some. Get her some raspberry tea.
There's moon tea from Kenya. You can take it.
Kenya. So I want to, if y'all just would not mind me to close this out. So I want to say I really hate this for us as women, right? That we have to reserve vacation time. I really think that we should also impress upon the HR policy to really create a space for us, not make room when it's time for us, but really create a space. We are being honest. I know we can oftentimes, and this is one of the things with this podcast, is that we recognize that we can be overlooked. We can be said to be gaslight. What is it? I don't even know the words. Gaslit, right? With the things that are going on with our bodies. Fibroids are ubiquitous in Black women. That creates a worse situation for when we're on our cycles. This is a domino effect. When we talk about this podcast, when we say, if the scale is at 100 when you're born, we don't get 100 points. Right. We get as women in general, we get 75. As Black women, we get 50. So it puts us at an inopportune disadvantage. The fibroids makes that worse for us in these work environments, which can impact us economically. So this Arnisa asked this question. It's a valid question. We support you. Go to your HR. Yes. From my perspective, go to your HR, start to change policy within your space that you can actually influence.
And create a memo so you have a track record of it. You know, people don't like memos, but once you have a memo written, they have to respond to it.
Take a whole
Create a memo. That's right. Create a memo, send it to all the people because they will CC them all because you will get a call very quickly.
Absolutely. All right.
From personal advice.
We're going to close out with our closing rituals. We're going to pass this plate. What do y'all leave on the plate today? We have talked about healing our bodies, representation for our health needs, and loving ourselves through it all. Don't forget to love yourself. You are not that job.
Period. Anyway, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Continue to move forward, but always give yourself grace.
I love that. Love it. Bree, what you leaving on the plate?
I'm going to leave figure it out. Like, figure out what the problem is.
Figure it out.
Do that work. Do that work.
That's good.
Ask the questions, do the things, go see the doctor, figure it out. Because waiting and procrastinating is only making it worse. For sure.
Yep. I love it. What you got, Kriya?
I got write it out. So whether it's writing that memo, whether it's writing the questions to yourself, whether it's writing the strategy out, you know, like write it out and then walk forward, you know, to what you two were just saying as well.
I think as I had two, but the one is read it out, right? Do your research. Do your research. I'm the librarian of the group, I feel like, but it gets to a point where you can read 17 books and you're like, okay, you got to make a decision. But seriously, do your research. Don't just listen to what the doctors are telling you, and don't just listen to your girlfriends. Do your own research.
Yeah. It's true. For me, I'm going to say, engage with community and ask them questions. You're not alone.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Really, you're not alone. Like, a lot of us are going
Not
through
alone.
this. Again, don't feel shame. Or if you feel shame, ask anyway. Talk about it anyway.
Saying talk it out.
For
Talk it
real.
out.
Yes.
Talk it out.
That's right. Talk
That's
it
part
out.
of the research.
Talk it out.
Yes,
Right.
it
Well,
is.
thank you, Bree.
Yes, it
Talk
is.
it out.
Yes, it
All
is.
right, we got some song cues. Y'all know we're gonna leave y'all with some cold ass songs.
It's a vibe
NDRE,
playing now.
I am like, we are changing it. We're gonna do a little
Yes.
spin because we're gonna pull lyrics out. That relate to this episode. NDRE and I am like say, I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head, right?
Amen.
So
Yes.
it is absolutely amazing. You are not that voice. Solange, Cranes in the Sky. I love
Yes.
this song. It's
Yes.
so
So
good.
Yes, yes, yes.
Shout out H-Time.
Yes, you know, y'all. Auntie gonna put on for Houston.
She really from there.
No, she from Cleveland.
I was living more years of my life in Texas.
That's okay. Listen.
Lit
Okay,
in
I
Texas.
tried to drink it away.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to put one in the air. I ran my credit card bill up. Thought a new dress would make it better. Yo, we
love
have
that
to.
song.
You know, we
It's
can
a
put
great
ourselves
one.
in debt.
Yes.
Look, these two Scorpios over here.
We talking about putting one in the air. Sorry.
You know, they all listen. Yo, we gonna have some chats. We gonna do some lives so we can get some real. Y'all can get the real of everybody. But listen, we cannot distract ourselves from the pain. We have to address it head on.
Yes.
And one more, we talking about Jasmine Sullivan, masterpiece. She says every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see I'm a work of art. Excuse me. Grab these songs and listen to them.
Yes.
These songs
Work of
make
art.
Hey,
Work of
Can we get a
art.
playlist? Wait, do you have an actual playlist, though? We need a playlist.
Yeah, definitely create a
yes,
playlist.
yes.
Yeah.
So these two songs heard words sometimes can't. The ache, the rise, and the reminder that healing is both messy and magnificent.
Yes, it
y'all.
is.
So
Yes, it
every
is.
woman
Yes, it is.
listening, may you
Yes.
find your light, your cranes,
Yes.
and your masterpiece.
sure.
Every woman
Yes.
carrying something heavy, y'all.
Yes.
In your womb, in your heart, or your spirit, may you find your softness again. Because Black women are soft. We have to be strong. Think about these young Black
for
girls
sure.
going to school,
Yes.
cannot go to school. May the system start to see us, study us, and serve us. And may we do that for ourselves and each other. And until then, may we never stop speaking us, because the silence has never saved us. But sisterhood will.
Yes.
Cheers! We close
Yes.
this brunch table.
Ashe.
This brunch table is closed.
Yes, it is.
And shout out again, one more time to Cordelia.
Cordelia.
Thank you.
Shout out to
for your
Tony.
time.
Shout out to Andrew.
Yes.
To the kitchen.
Yes.
Cheers to y'all.
To the kitchen.
The real MVP.
Yes.
I danced through my whole meal.
Chef Vinny. Chef Vinny, thank you.
This brunch table
Thank
is
y'all.
closed. Yeah.
Incredible.